Hey guys, my name is Sarah Sloan, and you're listening to The Sarah Sloan Show. You know what's up. You know what's up. If your parents are around, tell them you love them. If your brothers or sisters are around, trip them for free, if that's okay with you. Guys, so much happening in the world. So much happening in our lives. Like, think about it. Think about it. Like, already. February. Valentine's Day has passed. The day of sweet lovin' has already passed. I don't know what you guys did for Valentine's Day, but let's just say I got pretty busy. I had a date with a guy named Andy. Make that plural, Andes. I was so bad. I got this custard. It's like one of their featured ones that they always have all year around. It's called the Snow Monster. And so it's essentially a blend of vanilla custard, strawberries all throughout, and then melted chocolate chip. It slaps. It slaps so hard, like a pa, a pa, 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 a pa, 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 pa. It was good. It was really good. Yeah, it's amazing. If you don't go there, like I use the app to get deals or whatever. If you don't go there for a certain amount of time, then they give you a discount. So they gave me $2 off. I was a really bad girl, and I got a large. It was still like $7 and something cents. That place charges too much. It's so crazy because there's like Brahms, and Brahms is like so much cheaper, and the ice cream is really good. In general, I really shouldn't be eating any of that kind of stuff. All that dairy, I don't think it's good for you. I really don't. And it's just like liquidize that. Melt that down. Melt the custard down. Melt the ice cream down. Put that in a bottle. Put that in a bottle like what I drink out of. And just drink that. And then it really shows you how concentrated with the sugars and all this stuff and all the probably bad, nasty fats. It shows you how bad it can be. It really is scary. I don't like getting scared. I don't like scary stuff. But yeah, I think it really can get bad. But it tasted good in the moment. And it's kind of crazy because with what I consume, I've been trying to be a little bit better. I still am bad, but I'm trying. And so what I say to myself is I'm just like, hey, Sarah, is this good fuel for you? Will this, first of all, satisfy you, fill you up, and will it give you energy? Will it give you energy and make you feel clean? Yeah, like you're a car. You got to put the right fuel to run well. It's all important. And so I was following that with some things. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to have this. I'm not going to have that. And then Andy's, and I was like, every car needs a little bit of poisonous gas. Man. It was good. It was good. I'll stop there. I can't keep on thinking about it. If you dwell on this stuff, then you're going to want more of it. Oh, and it was awkward too. So I was at the Andes drive-thru, and the guy comes out and he's like taking my order outside, and so I was like, and he was like, "Your last name is how do you say it?" And I was like, "Sloan," and he's like, "It's just like Swedish, like what is it?" And I was like, I don't. I was like, I don't really know. I was like, it's just my last name. I'm like, now you're making me. He's like, how do you say it again? I was like, Sloan. Like I almost started saying it weird because I was so like caught off guard. I was like, Sloan. It was really strange. So then I was like, okay, well, great talking to you. And I say that to him. Then I'm driving up to the window, and he's walking back, and I'm like, oh no. And then he's in the window, and I was like, wow, they have you doing double duty? This is crazy. And he was like, yeah. And yeah, he's like, I'm really interested in my ancestry and all this stuff. And it was just, oh my gosh. I just wish he would have told me, like, hey, I'm going to also meet you at the window kind of a thing. It was just very uncomfortable. But it's okay. It's okay. We're all okay. Okay, so there's a lot to talk about. Let's start with this. I want to start with the story that I just read about, this article, and it was kind of crazy. Okay, Barron Trump. He's a favorite topic of mine. I love me some Barron. I don't want to be Barron. I want to have a lot of kids. But yeah, Barron Trump, he's in college. Like I'm telling you, I have been very attracted to him in the past, but then I've always had to be aware that like I'm like I think 9 years older than him. And that's not great. But, the heart wants what it wants. And don't think that I want him for his height. I don't care about that. Height isn't that important to me. Height. Okay, so he's apparently going to NYU right now, New York University. And interestingly enough, there is a College Republicans of America group there. And they had the president of the group talking about Barron. And it was a person named Kaya Walker. She was talking to a couple of outlets and saying that he is an oddity on campus who keeps to himself. She spoke to Vanity Fair. She spoke to The Independent, two outlets that I do not care to ever read. I don't know about you. Well, she got in trouble for this. She was basically forced to resign from her role as the president of the CRA, Republicans of America. They said basically that what the president said does not align with the values and principles upheld by the organization. I thought it was pretty interesting. Can I be honest? She said, okay, and I quote, he's sort of like an oddity on campus. He goes to class, he goes home. Then the article said it this way. They said, his NYU classmates find him to be as big a mystery as the rest of the world. Unlike his father, Barron does not speak publicly nor operate a public social media account, which by all appearances has only deepened his mystique. And then, somebody else even said, he's tall, handsome. A lot of people seem to think he's pretty attractive. Yes, even liberal people like him. I don't think it was that big of a deal. I don't think what she said was a big deal. And then it goes over the overall topic of cancellations and being too easily offended. What does she have to do? Does she have to sing its praises? Does she have to say the most positive things? She said he's a little odd. Guess who also in college was a little odd, who went to class and then went straight home? Ding, 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 me. I did that all the time. I wasn't really involved in much. I didn't care about anything. I just cared about my classes and going home. Classes, going home. Because I didn't care about, comedy at the time or anything like that. So, have you heard of grace? Have you heard of a second chance? Like, if there was a rule out there for, like, hey, president, you are not even allowed to speak to these media outlets, and then Kaya Walker did, then I can understand. But I'm just saying, I don't like this. I don't like that people can get ousted just automatically. Even, like, imagine, like, a friendship. Your friend says one wrong thing and then you're done with them. Give me a break. Give them a second chance. If it's a pattern, then yeah, okay. Let them go. But I don't know. I just think it was kind of silly. Because how's Kaya going to be for the rest of her life? How's she going to feel for the rest of her life? Yeah, they pushed me out pretty good. Like, I just hope as a fellow Republican that we didn't lose a Republican because we were a little too mean. All I'm saying is people learn their lesson from this kind of junk. I've said things I regret saying a time or two. Also, he's a ladies' man? Barron, I don't want you being a ladies' man. Chill the heck out. There's only one lady you need to be focusing on. And it's this one right here. This one who's trying to look like Han Solo right now. And she's pretty solo right now in her love life. So, Barron, slow it down with the ladies. You got all you need. Right here. It's not great. Let's go on to another serious topic of discussion. Okay, so the IRS. What does that stand for? I'm going to be honest. I always forget the exact acronym. Internal Revenue Service. Internal Revenue Service. Write that down 15 times. Elon Musk is operating DOGE, essentially. This group that's really trying to decrease waste in the government, which I like. I don't know about you guys. I am so excited to see what Elon Musk does. So what's happening here is there's these integrated data retrieval systems within the IRS. And it has a lot of taxpayer information. Probably you listening to this, your stuff is in there. And in order to enter into this system, which is what DOGE wants to do, people are worried that this is going to be a breach of privacy. Essentially what's happening is a government agency doesn't want another government agency looking into what they're doing. I like transparency. I was even reading another story where Rand Paul was wanting to, there's like these, this reservoir of gold. And he was saying, I want to see it. Let's see all the gold that's in there. And apparently, like, he's been trying for over 10 years and cannot get access to see if the gold that they claim is in this reservoir is in this reservoir. It's insane. The whole thing is insane. I think the IRS is a bunch of bunk. And government officials, what makes them so special? Whoever's in charge of the IRS, why are you so special? Why do you get to see my stuff? We didn't elect you. Because that's what they're going to say against about the people that operate DOGE. We didn't elect Elon Musk. Well, guess what? We didn't elect you, IRS. So, all I know is you guys suck at everything that you do. And somebody's coming in saying that they want to just kind of look at things, create transparency, and you guys are getting upset about it. That's a little fishy. That's a little fishy to me. The fact that they're getting so guarded about the whole thing really exposes the fact that, what are they hiding? In general, the whole tax system, let me look this up. Give me a second. I'm getting really upset right now. The tax system is a joke in this country. It's a progressive tax system. And when you have a progressive tax system, what is that messaging to the citizens of this country? It is telling them you should not make more money. If you make more money, we are going to take more of it. Essentially, we are going to penalize you for that. That's so silly. That's so dumb. Why are you so dumb, government? You should want your citizens to make as much money as possible. You should incentivize that. Can you imagine? The more money you make, the lower your tax rate is. Can you imagine that? That'd be so cool. I don't even care about that. Honestly, I would be fine with a 19% tax rate across the board. 19%. That'd be awesome. Right now, what it is, and it changes from year to year. They adjust it and everything. You can go anywhere from a 10% to a 37%. That is ridiculous. And we put up with that junk. And so it's like 10%, and then it goes up to, let's go here. It goes up to 24% if you start making anywhere from, let's see, for a single filer, 103,000 to 197,000. So it just continues to go up and up and up. Really how it should work, how it should actually work, we should just have a consumption tax. That's it. Which we already do as well, the sales tax. It's just tax here, tax there, tax everywhere. And the government gets it. Who's it going to? How are they spending this money? Because I'm hearing a lot of stories about stupid programs that the government's working on, that our money is just being thrown into. And then also the Social Security system. Let's talk about that. The Social Security system. So basically the government says to us, hey, we will manage your retirement money. You can come to us for that. I can handle that myself. I don't need you, who doesn't know anything. I don't need you helping me with that. I can handle my retirement money myself. I have savings myself. What do you know? I don't even know you. I've never even shaken your hand, which I wouldn't right now because I'm so angry. The whole thing is ridiculous. But yeah, if we just had only a consumption tax, then what does that do? That incentivizes you to spend less, which is a good thing. But right now, that's not how it works in our country. Our economy booms the more we spend. And then the simple fact of like, what's a property tax? What? A property tax? So I own this property. It's mine. And you still got to pay taxes on it. What? Like, can you imagine? I have an iPad right here. I paid a sales tax on it. That was a consumption tax. I own this iPad. This iPad is my iPad. Imagine if every year I still had to pay the 8.25%. Imagine if I had to pay that every year on something I already own. That's what we do with our property. It's crazy. The corporate tax. I think I'm saying the right thing. Hopefully I am. If I'm understanding it correctly, you do well in the stock market. You pull your money out of the stock market. You already paid taxes on the money you're investing into the stock market. And then if you make any bit of profit at all, the government wants that tax as well. Tax. That's all they ever want. And it's so complicated. Taxes that people do whenever they're fully invested into the stock market are so much more thorough and complicated. Once again, disincentivizing people to invest into businesses to help them grow. Businesses that maybe you work for that could help you. What am I on right now? Why am I getting so sorry? I didn't know I had this in me. This really angered me though. Listen, I'm not going to just say that like Elon Musk is my favorite person in the world. He's not. I don't like his personal life. I don't like a person that's just like constantly sleeping around. That's not my favorite thing in the world. I don't like a person that really isn't actually tied to the Republican cause, just kind of marching into the White House and doing a lot of what he wants to do. But at the same time, I've seen that this guy does stuff, and he is effective. He was really helpful as far as Twitter goes. I hate electric vehicles with everything in my being, but I do have to admit that he's done well with that business, Tesla. So I think going to Mars is stupid. Like, it's not going to happen. So quit trying. Can we quit wasting all this money to go to Mars? We could actually like do so much more with that money. But nevertheless, what he's been able to do is cool. So I would like to see him cause some damage. Make the IRS shake. One more thing about the IRS. One more thing. I don't know what I'm on right now. I'm on something, and it's not good. Maybe too much water. Who knows? Can we talk about tax returns? It is just so incredibly stupid and backwards that people are begging for tax returns. Okay, so another example. Let's do this. Okay, so I ask. Yeah, let's try this. Okay. Once again, the iPad right here. So you own this iPad and you charge me $1,000 for it. So then I pay you the 1,000 and I get this iPad and I have it. And then you come back to me and then you say, hey, I was actually only supposed to charge you $800 for that iPad. Like, I really am sorry. So here's $200 because I really was only supposed to charge you that much. That's ridiculous. I would be like, why'd you charge me $1,000, you idiot? You were only supposed to charge me $800. What's your problem? And that's what we're doing with tax returns. We are basically grateful that the government took too much money from us and they're giving us some of it back. They took our money. And we're like, thank you so much for giving me the money back. That's so silly. What? So I hate tax returns. Anytime I get a tax return, I'm angry. Because they took my money. Now, if they... Or here's an interesting idea. How about you do your freaking job and we don't have any tax returns or none of that? How about you just take what you need to take if you're going to do it? I don't like it, but you're going to do it anyway. So take what you're going to take and just leave it at that. But they're so bad at what they do that they either take too much or they don't take enough and we have to pay more. That's how bad they are at what they do. That doesn't happen in your day-to-day life if you go to a Walmart. If you go to a Walmart, you pay what you pay and you're done. If a Walmart with high school employees can get numbers done accurately, why can't CPAs in the IRS get their jobs done effectively? They suck at what they do. So yeah, whenever Elon Musk is wanting to check into it and they're shaking their boots and they're upset, I don't really care. So Elon Musk, do your dirty deed and punch the I and the R and the S. Okay, I gotta stop talking. I don't know what's wrong with me. Oh, man. Okay. Oh, speaking of punching. Okay, let's talk about this. That was a crazy transition. Okay, so years ago, I got really into watching YouTube Conan on TBS O'Brien clips. I thought he was one of the best late night hosts. But I didn't I've never watched a complete episode of his. I just only watched those YouTube clips. And he is just so incredibly funny and silly, and he's a genius. He is a comedic genius. Now, in later years, I don't like the political stances he's taken and things along those lines. We obviously disagree, and it's kind of cringe. I used to listen to his podcast, and I loved it. I was super obsessed with it. And then he had on Michelle Obama, Michael Obama, let's get it right. And they were just so dramatic about the election. And I was just like, okay. And I stopped listening to it. But yeah, he is hilarious. I really enjoy his stuff. So there was years ago that, let me find this, that he had on a celebrity. And her name is Maria Menounos. I don't even know how to say it. Menounos, whatever. I'm going to stop because I don't know how to say it. And basically, she was talking about how she could take a punch in the stomach. In fact, she does that to strengthen her abs. And so, in the video, he punches her in the stomach. I'll probably play some of it. And then she punches him in the stomach and all that, and it's pretty funny.
I don't do sit-ups generally. I mean, once in a blue moon I will if I'm in the mood, but I hate them for the most part, like everybody else. And so my dad in the village back in the day, he used to have people throw rocks on his stomach and they would get bigger and bigger, and he would bounce them off his
Is your
stomach.
dad Popeye by any chance?
And he would tell me these stories.
And sexy, I tell you.
Yeah, and so that's how
He would have people throw rocks at his abdomen.
Yes, and he would bounce them off, and he would tell me these stories, and I always wanted to be like my dad. So I was like, I don't want people throwing rocks at me. How about I just have people punch me? So all the time, since I can even remember, I've always had people punch me in the stomach, and then I have to constrict my abs. And by the time they get the courage, like if I ask you to punch me right now, you're gonna be like, no. Meanwhile, I'm already tight and ready for the punch. And by the time you do it, I've done like the equivalent of 50 sit-ups.
Right. So
And
it's the
that's how I keep my
preparation
abs
for the
tight.
punch.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'd like
Hold
you to. Okay, well.
I'm nursing busted ribs, so be gentle. But only hit on this side, because this is the bad side.
Wait, you get, because these ribs are broken. I don't want to do this. I don't win in any way.
Okay, just do it lightly.
Tomorrow, people aren't going to be like, you really did a good job punching Maria Menounos.
Just do it lightly over here.
Just like right there. Oh, that's like a frying pan.
Did you see that bounce? See that bounce?
You want me right there. Come on. No, come.
But yeah, she does that to strengthen her abs. And I am telling you, I kind of like do this a lot. I will just be punching my stomach. And I think it really actually does work. Like I'm not saying I have a six-pack over here. I got a six-pack of sodas. But I do think that it's relatively effective. Like try it. Like wherever you're at, hopefully in public so people can see. Just punch your stomach and you will harden your stomach. And that is your core that you are strengthening. And it's amazing. Like it really is a good kind of core workout, ab workout. And so I'm really great. Like it's so fun that like I listened to this so many years ago and it's always stuck in my mind. And I've been able to kind of incorporate it into my life for all these years. And I do think it's made a difference in my core. I really do. 'Cause yeah, I hate like planks and all that. Oh my gosh, I hate that junk. No, thank you. But you want to punch my stomach? You go right ahead. Okay, obviously there's probably some punches that like, maybe a big man, like please just stay away from me. I don't want that. But like a friend, a weak guy, yeah, punch me. I just think it's a great, effective way of strengthening your core. And yeah, just such a funny interview all around. And then also she had this crazy laugh at the end.
You had me in an incredible trance, and then you broke me out of it.
That's what Derek says. Every time he's like, I was feeling something from Maria, and then she laughed.
And I can totally relate. I have a very crazy laugh as well. Crazy laughs are awesome. My sister also has a crazy laugh, and I love her laugh. I love crazy laughs. And I almost felt like she was embarrassed at the end of it because of her crazy laugh. And I was like, no, like, it's so cute. It's like, I just think it's so fun whenever people have something like unique about them or whatever, especially like someone like her, like she looks like a straight up 10 and then she laughs like a freak. Like that's so fun. It makes her human. That's how I see it. Yeah, no, my laugh, people comment on it a lot. And I'm like, I'm going to keep on freaking laughing. I'm going to laugh because laughter really like brings so much joy. I'll even be at work sometimes and I'll just happen to watch a funny video in the bathroom doing what I do. And I will just be busting out laughing in the bathroom, specifically a handicap stall because they handy no cap. And it just brightens up my day. It really does. So don't know how I got into the whole bathroom thing. These tangents, man, it's really getting bad. Okay. I also did want to talk about this too. I was a little embarrassed. I try to be reflective of the weirdo that I am. And I was talking about the Brett Cooper drama in the last episode. And I was talking about the differences of men and women and Daily Wire. What do they actually think about all that? And I was, mentioning like, I do believe men are stronger. And then I watched this funny video on Instagram, and it was about pick-me's.
I'm not a feminist. Like, men should be in charge. Sorry, they're stronger.
Which, gosh, I don't know like the actual definition of a pick-me. Let me go ahead and look it up, actually. This will be fun. Okay, so it's used, the term pick-me is used to describe, and it's typically associated with females. It's used to describe a woman who obviously and obsessively works to gain men's attention or acceptance. So, but yeah, I was like, men are stronger. Like, I'll even play the clip from my last episode. Yes, once again, like, for sure, they're stronger. Yeah. I think in a lot of ways, a lot of men are smarter and stuff like that. Like, I'm fully aware, like, we have different strengths, different weaknesses, but... And then the video, like, literally says the same thing. And all I know is I'm not trying to be a pick-me. And it was really embarrassing. And so I just wanted to put that out there. That was a really low moment for me. So, I'm Sarah the pick-me, if you don't mind picking me. Do you? Do you mind picking me? Can you pick me? Pick me, booger. Okay. By the way, I did want to quickly talk about Brett Cooper again, just real quickly. She finally started releasing some episodes of her podcast, and that was so exciting. Just like, yay, she's back. She's doing her thing. I am a mere spectator, a mere viewer. I don't know anything except how to do a stanky leg. Like, literally, that's it. That's all I know. What to do, how to do, whatever the freak we're talking about. I will say this. I truly enjoyed her shows, or her episodes, for the comments section. I just want to be honest, I am not truly enjoying her episodes of the Brett Cooper show, or whatever she's calling it. They're not that great. And I hate to say that, because, like, I was such a big fan. And I know it's like, Sarah, be quiet. She's just starting out on her own. Give her a chance. I will. I'm going to give her a chance. Listen. But I'd rather say what I'm feeling, and then once she changes course, I'll be cheering at the finish line, whatever finish line that is. The episodes are longer, and they are about like one topic. I just feel like, and please don't use this podcast as an example. I am just a freak doing freak stuff. This does not fall under any rules. I am truly shocked that even one person listens to this podcast, and I mean that legitimately. So I am not the arbiter of success. Like, I don't know anything. Anyway, you can't talk about a topic as long as she's talking about topics. It's too much. It's too long. Let me go to something. Yeah, let me go to her channel real quick. And by the way, like, she is killing it. She has 1.38 million subscribers. And she's got merch already. Her merch looks so cool. Just everything she's doing. She's got millions of views. Like, I'm not exaggerating. But these episodes are longer, and I'm serious. They just stay to like one topic. A 33-minute video about us not caring about celebrities. A 25-minute video about Captain America. Nobody cares that much to watch that long of a video about one topic. And I just feel like, in a way, with the Daily Wire before, she kept the episodes so short. And it was great. It was perfect. Because, yeah, 10 minutes, 15 minutes for a topic. Oftentimes she would even do 6 minutes, 8 minutes. That's perfect. And that was kind of a new style and format that she was doing. And so she's completely changed it now. And I just think she needs to be a little careful, because already, for example, The one that I think has been the most boring has been the Captain America one. And it has 698,000 views. Obviously, that's amazing. Duh. But guys, she had a Blake Lively one. She had a cancel culture one that had over 3 million views. 700,000 versus 3 million. That's a difference there. No, like, listen to your audience from this is what I'm hoping she does. Also, I'm going to say this too. I think her microphone choice, I think she went too far. Like, that's like a really nice microphone that, like, you really got to know how to use. I would never get that microphone. First of all, it's like thousands upon thousands of dollars. It's a Neumann. And then it's just like harsh. I was listening to the podcast and it was like hurting my ears. Now, I know that's already happening with my podcast because, once again, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying, but I don't have 1.38 million subscribers, guys. I love Brett Cooper. All that to say, I love Brett Cooper. I want her to succeed. But if I'm feeling this way, I know I'm not the only one. I want her to beat Reagan. I know that it's not a competition, but in my mind it is. You know, I want her to beat her. So, yeah, I think she's going to get better and better. I'm excited for her. She did an interview style podcast as well. You know, I think it was good. But yeah, I'm just excited to see the Brett Cooper from the Daily Wire. That, I feel like that was a better version of her. This one, I think that there's just a little bit more room for improvement. So that was the review nobody asked for, and probably everybody disagrees with me. But that's okay. That's life, baby. That's show business, baby. I wanted to talk about this as well. So, yeah, this one's crazy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mentioned Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. She had spoken about them. So if you want to see a professional talk, you let her talk, because she's good. Brett Cooper is. But I wanted to talk about this as well. Not the full Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds controversy that you may have already heard about. Mostly just focusing on their marriage. And they've been married since 2012. And Ryan Reynolds was married to Scarlett Johansson previously. And then they obviously got divorced. And so I remember just in like past mental processing, past thoughts, I don't remember when, but I remember seeing these articles, these social media posts about Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' relationship is so cute, they just troll each other. And I would see these social media posts that they had where they were kind of like joking with each other. And I remember thinking to myself, I love that. That's so cool. I want that one day. Because I'm an aspiring comedian. I love humor. I love it. And so I'm like, I'm looking for a man who doesn't take himself too seriously, who's willing to laugh at himself. Because that's the worst. Whenever someone's just like so cringy in that way, and it's just like, oh yeah, I'm very good at this. Oh, it's just like, ugh, stop, ew. Like, you can't even joke with them. They're not even capable of it. I can't with that. Also, you know, like, I want a man that finds me to be funny. If he doesn't, like, it's gonna be very sad for me. I really want a man that finds me to be funny. So I looked at those posts in the past and I was like, that is what I want. Let me give you a few examples of their moments. I was looking at an Us Weekly article that had them. There's too many to go through. But yeah, let me just highlight some. Okay, so there was one where Ryan Reynolds was basically saying that he would use Blake Lively as a human shield. So he was talking about his first daughter, James, which also, like, why? Why'd you have to name your daughter James? I'll just leave that there. Anyway, I'm gonna name my son Sarah. Like, what? Okay. So he used to say, this was something that he was saying to David Letterman in a interview. I used to say to Blake, I would take a bullet for you. I could never love anything as much as I love you.
I used to say to her, I would take a bullet for you. I could never love anything as much as I love you. I would say that to my wife. And then the second I looked in that baby's eyes, I knew in that exact moment that if we were ever under attack, I would use my wife as a human shield to protect that baby. You can quote me.
I don't know. I just feel like, and I love humor. Oh my gosh, like seriously, like roasting, all that kind of stuff. Gosh, this was a couple of years ago in the comedy world. There was someone that even lost his father, and I was telling another comic like, "Hey, this guy lost his father," and immediately the comic is like, "Does he have any like free stuff that we can get? Does a dad have like a house with free stuff in it?" And like we all just started busting out laughing. So like we can seem very callous, very insensitive. And I'm not always that harsh and that cold, by the way. I try to be a little bit more aware, but like that's all that is just to show you that like comedians can be very, very cold. And that's kind of their way to cope emotionally. I don't think it's the healthiest way, by the way. I'm not saying I advocate for this. I'm just showing you like that there is a different world, that comedians treat things differently. I still think this is just too far, especially for something so public, like a David Letterman interview. Like it's too far. It just is. Like you could do it. You have every right to say it. Yeah, some people will laugh, but I think deep down, you know you went too far, Ryan. Ryan, I'm talking to you. Ryan, I'm talking to you. You went too far. Okay, so then there was another one where Ryan Reynolds wished Billy Ray Cyrus a happy birthday instead of Blake Lively. So he said, "Just want to wish Billy Ray Cyrus the most special, magical birthday ever. I love you with all my heart. Also, happy birthday to my wife." Okay, ha ha ha. Yeah, good one. You know, like, it's fine, whatever. But it's just dumb. And then there was another one where he claimed that Jake Gyllenhaal was a better cook than Blake.
Yeah, we live up in the burbs. Yeah, he comes over and he can. Blake, my wife, is very good at cooking, and Jake might be just a little bit better.
Really?
Yeah, he can throw
Does
down.
it get competitive?
Yeah, it gets very competitive.
I tell you right now, that you probably should have saved that one.
I'm moving out at the end of the month. Yeah, I'm actually moving out right now. Under this desk, I'm already making plans.
Okay, haha, you know. Blake Lively, for this next one, she called John Legend the best man she knows. So it was whenever it was Time's 100 most influential people. And so she says, "Congratulations to the most influential person in my life. The best man I know. You deserve this Time 100 honor. If only my husband wasn't blocking you in this shot. I am so sorry, John Legend." Okay, haha. Then there's another one where Blake Lively mistook Ryan Gosling for her husband. So there was a picture, and then she cropped out, she cropped out Reynolds out of the shot of him and Gosling, and she put "Happy birthday, baby." So she was saying it to Ryan Gosling. Then there's just so many, guys. There's so many. It's ridiculous. There was one where, Blake Lively, she was basically making fun of Ryan Reynolds for not knowing how to use a cell phone. And so she wrote a comment, "Why won't this D-word app swipe right?" in Instagram. She was commenting this. And then he replied, "Because it's the eHarmony app." And then she replied, "Can you show me how to download that? Ever since Ashley Madison closed, I've been so lonely." And then he replied, "Aw, happy Valentine's Day." It's just a lot. It's just a lot. And it's all so public. You know, I think it's one thing if it's like, just to each other, in the house, maybe even at hangouts with friends. It's another thing whenever you're sparring on social media for the world to see. That's kind of crazy to do it this often. And it gets to the point where it's like, they always say like every joke has a grain of truth in it, and I do believe that. In fact, I get away with saying a lot of things because I can say I'm just kidding or whatever, and I have to be careful with that. And there are many times where I am just kidding. And then there's a few times where I'm not. And I'm actually being passive aggressive, which is really gross and toxic behavior that I need to work on. And so I know this game. And I know that there's hidden resentment that they have towards each other. And I don't know why. I really don't know why. They are weird. They are very strange. They are a strange couple. And I just think, quit trolling each other in public. It's really exposed to me. Like, I don't want that. I do want to joke with my husband one day, but I don't want this. This is too far. It's just too much. And I thought it was a good lesson to learn. And yeah, the whole bigger saga and drama of the It Ends With Us movie and the Justin Baldoni and all that. I'm not even going to get into all that. It's just too much. It's too much. If you do want to know about it, though, Candace Owens has slayed that up and down and all around. Like, literally, oh my gosh. On her podcast, she has uncovered so much in that scandal. And it has been fascinating to watch. Absolutely fascinating. So, yeah, I've learned so much about this. I seriously was continuing to think that I wanted their kind of a relationship until this scandal came to light and Candace was covering it. Then it really showed me and opened my eyes to, no, I don't want that. I don't like this. It's too far. It's too far. Even for me, who likes to joke like a little tiny baby who can't stop dancing on a table. I was passionate about that again. I don't know what's up with me. I can't stop. Can't stop. Okay, let's move on to the next. And this isn't really a topic. This is more, I wanted to tell a story where I bawled my eyes out because I think that's funny. I think it's funny to like talk about these stories. In fact, think of a story for yourself. If you care, if it's not like too serious or whatever, feel free to comment it because I love these kind of stories. Okay, so here's a story where I bawled my eyes out. I was in college and I was doing a lot of journalism classes because I was studying public relations, but that was under the tier of the journalism school. And I'm really grateful for that because it got me exposed to like my interest in media, my interest in radio and all that kind of stuff. God knew what he was doing. All that to say, I was in one of those journalism classes and we constantly had to be thinking of stories to write articles, story ideas to write articles. And so I was pretty good at it. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was pretty good at thinking of good ideas and all that. And there was one idea I had where I had heard that the college radio station that I did a couple shows on was going to be moving from the student union area to the journalism school. They were going to use a certain room and move in there. Somebody had said something about it to me. Like, I think it was one of the professors who actually had authority to be saying something like this. And I was like, oh man, that's a great story. Like, that would be, like, people would read that, people that care about OU would read that because that's interesting. It's just interesting information to know. And so, I'm just talking to one of my friends who was in the class, who I hate to admit, but I had a big crush on. Like a major, major crush on. I thought he was the most attractive guy in the world. And so I'm just like telling him these ideas. And I'm like, yeah. And I tell him this idea of the story idea for the college radio station moving into the building. And he's like, oh yeah, that's cool, blah, blah, blah. And then it was like the next assignment we had to do a story. And so then, we're asking each other, well, what are you going to do? Yeah, what are you going to write? What are you going to write about? And, there were going to be so many articles that you were going to have to do in this class that it was just like, I could have 5 story ideas and I might end up using them all. So it's like, just because I'm not using it for this next article doesn't mean I'm not going to use it. And so then he says to me, he's like, oh, yeah. Well, what I'm going to write about, I'm going to use your idea that you had about the college radio station. And I think it'll be a really good story. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And he just says it just like that to me. And, like, it may not seem like a big deal to you, but, like, that devastated me. That, like, it felt like someone stole $200 from me. Like, seriously, that's how it felt. Probably even more than that. Yeah, anywhere from $200 to $500 is what it felt like was stolen from me. And I was just like, whoa. And I didn't even say anything because he was so confident in saying that he was just like taking my story idea. And I just didn't even have the balls to say anything. I was just like, oh, okay. And like, but I was obviously like affected, but like I was trying to hide it. And so then I'm hanging out with my friend later that night. And somehow it comes up and I'm like telling her, we're in her house. I'm sitting on the couch with her. And I just started like telling her, and I am bawling my eyes out. I am just like, like the full shebang, tears, red face, snot, everything. It was disgusting. It was, thank God there's no footage of that. Thank God. But yeah, and she's just like, oh, Sarah, like patting my back, rubbing my back. And I was like, and I'm like, just like heaving, like shaking, like, he stole my idea. And like, I thought he was my friend. It was so stupid. Yeah, in retrospect, it doesn't even matter. For vindication on that story, he later tells me that, that it was a potential idea that was going out there, that they could move the radio station there, but they weren't going to do it. It was just an idea that was floating. So you can't write a story about that. And so he had to end up completely changing course. He had done a few interviews. He had to throw that all away. It didn't even matter anymore. So, I won. He lost. Loser. Yeah, that was a crazy, like that was a crazy story at the time. Like, it's so funny. Your worst experiences are your worst experiences. Like, my life was so easy back then, and it still is. Like, I'm so blessed. I'm so grateful. Versus there's like people like that are dying, that are being trafficked, all this kind of stuff. Like, my life is pretty freaking easy. But yeah, I was all like, he stole my story idea. So dumb. Oh, man. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'll tell another story. I don't know why I'm telling you so many. Nobody asked for this, but I don't know, I'm having a great time. Okay. So yeah, basically, moved here to Austin. I'm enjoying it. I'm living in my own apartment for the first time. I'm having a great time. Shaking my little booty like there's no tomorrow. There is going to be a tomorrow. Sorry, I don't know why I said that. And just in general, I am not good at like decorations, interior designs. Like, if you came in this apartment right now, you would scream. It just doesn't look good. I think I even saw a comment about like, you need more wall decorations. Like, yeah, I totally agree. Am I going to do it? No, I'm not. I'm not going to do it. Sorry. Sue me. But, ultimately what's really important to me is privacy. And there were blinds that are just in the apartment on the windows. I have 4 windows in this apartment, and my parents were helping me move in stuff and everything. But I had a couple days in there that I was just like kind of doing my thing. And then they tell me like, hey, we did check. We can see you through the blinds. And, let me just tell you, like, I was walking around. Like, I was free. I was free in there. And so that was really scary to me because I was just like, oh my gosh, like I've been walking around like a few days. Anybody could be like seeing me at any time. And it really frustrated me. And I was like, these blinds are ineffective. They don't work. They're dumb. D-U-M. They're dumb. And so my sister, she is just so good at just like quickly problem solving. And she's definitely better with the decorations and stuff than I am. But I have to admit, she's not like great either. And so, but she was just like, hey, Sarah, we just unboxed all this furniture in your apartment. We have all this extra cardboard. They're like similar shapes to the windows. How about we just put all the cardboard in front of the blinds on the windows so then you can't see anything? And I was like, yeah, that's a freaking good idea. Let's freaking do that. And so we start doing it, and it takes a while, but we get it done. And, you know, keep on, like, she would keep on going outside, checking to see if she could see in. Hey, I can still see a little sliver, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dang, I thought we covered it all up. And but we kept on fixing it. And finally, it was perfect. So then, this month, February, I get an email. And it was just like, hey, Sarah, here are the rules as far as the apartment goes. You are not allowed to have anything obstructing the window, blah, 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 something along those lines. And it was basically like, hey, you have to have this down on this day. You have to have the cardboard off by this day. Feel free to put curtains or whatever. And I was just like, oh, this sucks. Also, it wasn't an issue for all these months, but now it's an issue? Mamma mia, se la pone, like what the freak? I'm confused. But I had to do it because I don't want to get in trouble. And I like this apartment, and I want to stay here forever. I never want to leave this apartment. Helga, lock the door. I want to stay here for the rest of my life. Yeah, I know. I know it's dangerous what I'm doing. I don't care, Helga. I'm staying. You can go, I'm staying. But don't think you're going to get paid. Anyway, sorry. Sometimes you got to talk to the help, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, I was like, I got to take the sucker down. And I don't want to put up curtain rods and all this junk. And so I found like these stupid, you could see it in the background actually. I put up these like really ugly adhesive curtains, and they're already starting to fall off. And they've only been up for like 2 weeks. I don't even think 2 weeks. And they weren't like cheap. Like they're cheap enough, but not cheap. They were like, I think 20 a piece, and I got them used. Because Sarah loves a good deal. And I wanted to get white, but those were a little bit more expensive, so I had to get, gray. I feel like gray matches. It's so stupid. It looks so bad. And you can still kind of see in still. It really bothers me. I don't want people looking in. I don't like prying eyes. I like praying eyes. Pray for me, please. Don't pry on me. Pray. Don't pray on me. Pray for me. Golly. But yeah, so that was fun. I got it handled. It was all done. I do have cardboard covering one window still. Because, just for old time's sake. It's so dumb. That sounded like I was falling off a cliff. But I wasn't. I was not falling off a cliff. Okay, let's now go to a Bible verse, if that's okay with you. Okay, so it's Exodus 16, verse 8. And Moses said, "This will happen when the Lord gives you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to the full. Because the Lord has heard your grumblings, which you murmur against him. What are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against the Lord." Dang. Murmuring, complaining. In my mind, those are the same thing. Probably they technically have slightly different definitions, but complaining. To complain is to remain. That's what my mom has told me a lot. And I do it so much, and I gotta stop. I just like hate how much I complain. It's just like so annoying how much I complain. Like I'm complaining about my complaining. Do you get what's happening here? At the end of the day, the Lord was providing for the Israelites as they were trying to make it to the promised land when they were escaping from Egypt. And the thing is that they thought, whenever they were complaining, they thought they were complaining against the leaders, Moses and Aaron. But they weren't. Because at the end of the day, who anointed? Who chose Moses and Aaron? It was God. So they were really complaining against God. Do you really want to complain against the maker of the universe? Do you really want to complain against the most beautiful, magnificent being? Yet I do it every day. I do it all the time. It's insane. It's insane. And, you know, they were complaining against the situation and all this stuff. But they were essentially saying, God, this is stupid. Your idea was dumb. You're a terrible provider for us. You're not blessing us. We can't trust you. We don't believe in you. That's what they're communicating to God. How do you think that's going to make him feel? How would that make you feel if someone said that to you? But yet, that's what we do. And I think it was just such a clear way of communicating that's why I wanted to share this verse. And it's like, we don't have to do it. Like, we do choose to complain. I choose to complain. And there's been so many moments where something will maybe like happen at work or something. And I just want to immediately like either like text my sister or like find somebody and tell them like, oh my gosh, yeah, this person did this or whatever, blah, 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 this person did that. And it's like, I don't have to do that. I will actually survive not doing that. And it's like, well, what? Are we just supposed to bottle everything in? Are we supposed to just not say anything? No, we can actually say those things to the Lord. We can bring those complaints to the Lord. Believe it or not, there have been a few times that I've actually done that, and it feels so much better. And then also, it's better too, because then you're not just throwing your negativity on somebody else. And yeah, you don't want to be seen as the person that just always has something negative to say, a negative story, a negative situation. You don't want to be that person, because I've interacted with those kind of people and they are unbearable. Oh my gosh, it's awful. I'm just like, please stop right now in the name of the law. And I'm like literally that person will be walking up to me and I'm like, I better walk the opposite way, because I'm about to hear a very negative story, or I'm going to hear them say something that they've already said a million times. And a really good way of deterring people from complaining, and I know because someone did it with me, and it was actually very, very effective. I was complaining, and then they were just like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. What do you say to that? You can't say anything. You can't say anything. So that is the best way to stop someone from complaining. Just say, oh, I'm so sorry. Whether you mean it or not, just pretend you do. Just pretend very well that you do. And you'll stop it. So, at the end of the day, God will, and He is. He's giving us breath. We are breathing. We are alive. Somebody has it worse than you. Somebody has it worse than you. He is our provider, and He loves us. He literally loves you, and He says that you're special, and He's speaking to you constantly. You're not listening, maybe, but He is speaking to you. And you could just be quiet and just like rest in Him and just hear Him, hear His voice. It's a beautiful thing. And yeah, if we have complaints, like literally, this is what I want to do. I want to just like start journaling my complaints to the Lord, because He could take it. He can handle all of it. But I don't want to dump all that on another person. I'm really starting to feel bad about that. I'm starting to feel conviction about that. So that was a verse, Exodus 16:8. That was the amplified version. I'm loving I am loving the amplified version. Oh my gosh, like what have I been doing my whole life? I think it's probably a good thing just to go through a bunch of the different versions of the Bible just to have that completely different experience. There's actually Bibles that like contain like 4 different versions within one Bible. And so it's just like passage of different versions. That is overwhelming. I don't know about that. As it is, the Bible's a pretty freaking big book. It is huge. So yeah. How are you guys doing? Are you doing okay? Is life okay? Are you happy? Do you have good friends? Are you having good experiences? I hope everything's going well. Oh yeah, I didn't even mention this. I was really blessed to be able to go to Kill Tony and be on the New Year's Eve episode, the second night. They had 2 nights there.
Can you bring the horse girl up here? We have a young lady named Sarah Sloan, who I made a promise to many months ago on the show. She can do the greatest horse impression you've ever heard. I didn't know when I was going to use her or how I was going to use her tonight, but I've decided she's going to make her famous horse noise right now while Cam does the magic trick with a brand new fresh bottle of water.
And I got a backstage pass. Everybody was so sweet to me. Specifically, there's a photographer for the Mothership, Joe Rogan's Club, and it was his girlfriend, and she was just like so kind, talking to me so much. Also, yeah, there were plenty of other people just being so nice to me back there when they didn't have to be. And then you're backstage where you feel like a little out of place. You're like around all these really cool people, but it's like at the end of the day, like we're all just people. Like it doesn't actually matter. And it's like if you start doing this whole like I don't belong, I'm a weirdo. It's actually very selfish to think that way. And so it's like, don't do that. Like, just like talk to somebody. Just chill the freak out. And, but yeah, it was so cool, like seeing the behind the scenes, what it's like at these shows. And, yeah, I was just sitting there and I knew that at one point Tony Hinchcliffe was going to call me up on stage to do my horse impression. And, but I wasn't technically anywhere on the roster. So I didn't know when I was going to be doing that. So it was even scary going to the bathroom because it was like, what if I went to the bathroom and then he's like, Sarah, come up on stage, do your horse impression. And they're like, well, she's peeing right now in the stall, like a horse. The stall. Wow. Dang, that makes me feel like, why do they call bathroom stalls? That makes me feel like a farm animal. I don't think I like that. But anyway, yeah. So I had to be careful, like when I went to the bathroom and stuff like that. So it was crazy. But it was so cool. And then even at the end, he gave me a hug. He was really sweet. I just think it's so cool. Like Kill Tony for sure. Like it's a roasting show. There's a lot of like crazy stuff on there, but it's giving people opportunities that like no other show can. And I just think it's such an awesome thing, and that's why it's growing in popularity. And a lot of people want to cancel it. They want to say just a bunch of negative things about the show, and I'm like, okay, well then you make a show. Like, come on. Like, you're not going to do it. And you're not going to give all these open micers a chance. Open micers like me a chance. Like, literally, I've seen tangible difference in my comedy career from Kill Tony. And so any hate that I hear, I'm just like, I don't want to hear it. I love it. And so, yeah, literally, I was standing in an arena doing a horse impression. I don't think I would have thought that was going to happen in 2024. It was a great way to end the year. That was insane. It was insane. Life is so good. God is so good. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I started comedy, like, seriously, in August 2022. And, like, it's just, yeah, I'm just so blessed. I'm just so grateful. And I'm grateful for you guys as well for dealing with this cold sore on my lip. I just can't take it anymore. Petroleum jelly is a good thing to use. But I'm wondering, like, am I getting reliant on this junk? Because I didn't bring it for one weekend. Because I was just visiting some friends. And then my lips were getting like so dry. And I was like, oh no. And chapstick doesn't work. It doesn't retain as much moisture as petroleum jelly does. And yeah, so I'm thinking like, do I need to bring like a little container of this junk everywhere I go? So then it was drying up, and I can always feel it whenever it's really getting dry like that, my lips are, I can start to feel the cold sore coming and building on my lip. And it's always my bottom lip too, kind of in the center-ish zone. I don't think I've ever had a cold sore on my top lip. And so, then it sprouted up like the little freak that it is, and it's just gross. Oh, it's so gross. It's not fun to look at. It feels weird. It feels like a heartbeat. Sorry, that's TMI. I don't know why I'm sharing all that. But yeah. I don't even know why I talked about that. But yeah, all that to say, thank you guys. Wow. This episode, this is fun. Isn't this fun? I think I'm having fun. Hopefully you're having fun. You guys are wonderful. I really hope that you have a blessed day. Thank you so much for giving me your time and even listening to any of this. And Jesus loves you. Goodbye.